Hello friends, I am Pam and this is my channel, Made by Pam. So, I have been busy this week. It's Saturday again. Go figure. Should change it to Saturday sews and not Friday sews. Now I did plan on getting on yesterday and doing my video, but it just didn't happen. So it's my son's birthday today. Today is 11/11, Veterans Day, and my son is my Veterans Day baby. He's 14 today. So we went to dinner because when it's a kid's birthday, we like to celebrate and take them out to eat for their birthday. And then he was able to go to another store that was right by the restaurant. We went to a buffet. and he picked out a pocket knife. You know, it's okay. Kids, sometimes they're responsible enough to have a pocket knife. Okay, so yesterday I went to the thrift store. Granted, I went on Wednesday and I went on Monday, and yesterday was Friday, you know. But let me tell you, I just had that little inkling because I had a doctor's appointment. I was getting a mammogram done, and after my appointment I decided to stop by the thrift store and just to check it out. You know, it was a Friday afternoon and I just wanted to see what they had, because, you know, it's hard to pass it up, you know. So I go in and I find a couple books. I'm always finding books, always. And I did find a little circle punch thing. I even tested it out and it worked out great. It punched 3 pieces of paper all at once out of a notebook that was sitting there. So I got this little puncher. Figured that would make really good for those circle AT seats. So that would be fun for that. And then I did go back by the fabrics and the yarns, and I didn't see any over there that I particularly cared for. So I got my books and I got that punch. And then I got a couple pieces of clothing, and I got a serger. $19.99, so $20 for the serger, and it works. So let me just pull up a little piece of fabric here. So I just have a sample piece of fabric here because, yeah. And I'm going to go ahead and scan you down, and you can see how beautiful it works. Now it does pucker up a little bit there, but it's okay. You'll see that side. It's all black and stuff, but it has a pretty dang good stitch, considering. So I got it, and well, this one is a white Super Lock 534, and here is the book for it. Isn't that nice? And I saw the serger. It was in a Brother 1034D box. Like, somebody decided that they wanted a new serger, so they chose to get a new, like, Brother 1034D and get rid of the white one. There's nothing wrong with the white serger at all. And let me go ahead and pause you for a second. Okay. So I really like these machines that have these adjuster knobs because you can adjust your tension. Sorry, my husband stopped in for a second. So he brought me this cute little flower, and he was asking me what kind it was because he was like, I don't think they're daisies. I'm like, no, they're not daisies because daisies are smaller. And so I looked it up on my phone, white flowers, and went through the different flowers to see which one matched. And this is a white cushion palm. He went to a funeral today because one of his aunts passed away, and he didn't want to drag the whole family out, so he went by himself. Well, he went with his dad and his brothers, even though it was on his mom's side that had passed away. So his mom wasn't able to go because she wasn't feeling well, but his dad and his two of his brothers went. Okay, so I got this serger, and I like when they have these adjusters here. Now, of course, I do have my Viking serger here, which, you know, it doesn't quite have the stitch that I would like it to have. So I need to do some adjusting somewhere on it with something because the stitch on it is just horrendous. Well, I can show you. I have something here that shows my stitching. Okay, so let's get into the next order of business here on what I have been sewing this week. So I decided to sew up New Look 6856. I've sewn this pattern up before, and it's just that one there, but instead of like turning the sleeves under and doing a hem, I like to just cut a piece of fabric and just add a hem, like a cuff on it. So I have most of this done. Now all of this I did on my serger, and when I was sewing it up, I had a little bit of excess, probably because I didn't really follow the seam allowance. All I did was stitch it up with my serger. So I probably have a little bit extra because I really didn't like cut off much of the fabric at all when I was serging it up. So when I did it, I had some extra, and the lines on the back just weren't lining up. And so I figured, well, and also because I didn't take out that seam allowance, because this back piece is supposed to just be cut in two pieces, and you're supposed to have a seam down the back. As you can tell on this picture here, it has that seam on the back. Well, I don't like having a seam down my backside, so I just cut it on the fold, and then I deal with what happens after. So I just kind of tuck that in here, so here it looks like that, which is just fine. It works perfect for that. And then here are my sleeve cuffs. I want to do a hem cuff on the bottom, but I kind of ran out of fabric, so I'm kind of waiting on that there. But this, see, my stitch isn't too bad on my Viking. It has a little bit of overlay there. I don't know if you can actually see that very well. So it's a little bit, so it's not a perfect stitch. But I like this that one because it has that 5-thread safety stitch. So it does like a chain stitch along the edge. And I like that. So I used that, and then this was from my new white machine. It's like a 1980s machine. So that is awesome. Okay. Other thing I have made, let me go ahead and grab that here. I probably could have paused while I grabbed it. Go figure. Okay. I'll set that one back on my pile. So, the next one I was making is Simplicity 1566. Now, last week I did also make another one of these. It was a Halloween one. It had the orange fabric with the bats. I completed. And I think I showed it. I'm pretty sure I did. And I got that done. And so I made a shirt for my daughter from last week. I made her a shirt from Simplicity 9556. I actually made her 2 shirts and did the alterations on it. And then I made her daughter one of the little overalls out of the same fabric. It's one of the shirts. And then I had picked up the camo fabric, and I decided that I was going to use it to make my daughter a shirt and my granddaughter some little overalls out of that, and then I had enough to make me a shirt. For the most part. I almost didn't make it. But so I got this. I got cute little buttons on the front, and then I've got the little snaps on the bottom. Now, they say to use snap tape. Well, I don't have snap tape, and I'm not going to go out and buy snap tape. That's just a waste. So I'm going to go ahead and snap the bottom here and show you what I did. So this fabric, you can use a stretch fabric, but you don't have to. It can just be a woven fabric. But this one's out of a stretch fabric that I made. But for the snap piece and the bottom and the facing is out of a woven fabric. So here is the bottom. I have this fabric that I use for the facings. And this fabric I picked up on Wednesday when I went to the thrift store. I picked up a couple different pieces of fabric on Wednesday, and this was one of them that was in the bag, and I was comparing, and I'm like, you know what, I really like that with that fabric, so that's what I did. So it has the bottom part for around the leg, and then it has the pieces for the snaps there. They'll snap together, and then we have the buttons, and then we have the facings. So it worked out really well. So yeah, and I did most of this on the serger, on my Viking, and then the pieces that, like the top stitching and sewing on, like stitching, the top stitching on the facing and the buttonholes, and the stitching for the bottom snap tapes and stuff, that was done with this regular sewing machine. And then I do have the pieces cut out for my daughter's shirt here, right here, and so I'm going to work on that. I still got to figure out what zipper I'm going to put on it. And yes, it doesn't call for a zipper, but I'm going to put a zipper on it. And then I need to finish my shirt, which I will get done. Alright, so that is about all. I did pick up quite a few pieces of fabric on Wednesday. Yeah, it was Wednesday. So I did pick up quite a few pieces of fabric. Oh, and I have one more tool to show you. One second. I know you're going to think that I find all the great deals. Sometimes I think I'm pretty lucky that way. So I got an ultimate sweater knitting machine, like a knitting board. And look at that. It's missing one rod that goes on it, but I think that's not necessary. I don't know. But I thought that would be really cool to figure that out. I got it at a killer deal too. Oh, and then also, let me show you the patterns that I picked up today. And no, I didn't get these patterns from a thrift store. These patterns that I'm going to show you right now are patterns that I got from a friend. They were cleaning out their house. Well, their mom passed away years and years ago, and it's finally time to let the house go and move on. And so they're cleaning it out. And she had this little thing full of patterns that she contacted me saying, "Hey, Pam, I saved these patterns for you. Do you want them?" I'm like, "Absolutely." And so she saved them for me. So she also found this roll of trim here. I thought that would look really cool on something. And there's quite a bit here, so I'm going to definitely use that on something. I don't know what yet, but I will use it. And then there's a little thing with some hand sewing needles, you know, these little things here. And on the little placket card it says, "This booklet contains a package of hand sewing needles. Hope it will appeal to you. Give what you wish. I am a deaf person trying to support myself because I am out of work. Many thanks." And so it was like a little fundraiser type thing. But yeah, I thought that was cool. So a lot of these patterns, some of them are late 1960s, like 1968, 1969, and others are 1970, 71. So a lot of little girl patterns. There's probably like only like really one Mrs. pattern here, because this is a little girl size 10. This is a Mrs. Woman's pattern size 18 bust 40. So this one is for ladies, for the older ladies, I guess. It's a jiffy dress. And then this is a Bogart transfer pattern. Graceful new designs for scarves and vanity sets. So it's like those iron-on designs. And then just a bunch of old patterns from the 70s. This one is a doll pattern for 15.5 to 17.5 inch dolls. And I know Donna will be thrilled that I'm showing these to you. So thank you so much, Donna. She's a friend that I have known for many, many years. Like at least 30. At least like 30 years I've known this lady. She's a good friend of my mom's. She also gave me a big box of books too, because instead of me going through the whole box and trying to decide what books I wanted out of it, they needed to go somewhere. And I'm like, you want me just to take the whole box? She's like, yes, please. So I took the whole box of books because I can share them with my sister. Isn't that one cool? That's like a little, like, almost overalls. Cotton jumpsuit, jumper, and blouse. Yeah. It's a little overall pattern. Isn't that cute? Now these are patterns for little kids, but they sure do look grown up, don't they? I have a 9-year-old, and she's not that grown up. Look, a how to sew patterns. And this one's cute. This one is one that I can use for my granddaughter. Like her cute little dresses. I don't know if she's going to wear them or not. My daughter's kind of picky in that sense. But yeah, that is those patterns. And my mom is doing great. I went and visited her on Thursday. She is able to get up and down the stairs just fine. She is crocheting just fine because one of her favorite things to do is crochet. And she brushed my niece's hair. So my sister has a little girl that was getting ready for school, and I get there, and the girl had, my niece had to be to school by 9, and I got there about 8:30. So instead of making everyone else get up and go, I took her to school. My mom brushed her hair and got her all ready, and then I took her to school. And that was a good experience. It was good to know where she went to school and how to get her there and where to drop her off. So just in case I need to do it again sometime, I can do that. Alright, well, that is about all. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me. Have a wonderful day. Stay creative, and until next time, bye now.